Okay, we have one last topic to cover. We've already actually done this, but just to reinforce it, complements of events. You can recall from our last lesson that the complement of an event consists of all outcomes that are not in that event. So all probabilities for possible outcomes must add up to 1 or 100% if we're talking percentages. So let's take a simple example. If I tell you the probability of A happening is 0.75, what must be the probability of the complement of A? Well, by definition, the complement of A must be 100% of the possibilities minus any possibility of A occurring. So 1 minus 0.75. Therefore, the probability of the complement of A occurring is 0.25. Let's try this again in problem 40. What if I ask you to roll a 6-sided die and I say, what's the probability of not getting a 5? Well, this is pretty easy mentally. I mean, there's only 6 choices. So you're saying, well, if 5's out of the picture, then there's only, 5 other possibilities. So it's going to be 5/6. But if we use the definition here, the probability of not 5 is equal to 1 minus the probability of getting a 5. So 1 minus 1/6, and sure enough, that definition gives us 5/6 as we expected. 41 is a little more complex, but I'm going to leave this one to you to do. Finding the probability that the sum of rolling 2 dice is greater than 4 is the same thing as saying 1 minus the probability of rolling a sum that's less than or equal to 4. This will get rid of all the possibilities that aren't sums greater than 4. And whatever's left over will be the answer to this. Now, a little hint on this one. To solve for all the different things you can roll, you might want to make a little quick chart. You could roll a 1 and a 1, a 1 and a 2, 1 and a 3, etc. You can go 2, 1, 2, 2. You're going to find there's a total of 36 possibilities. And then you can easily see what the sums will be as you go through your little table. So just take a quick second and write all the possible different outcomes you can get for rolling 2 die. And then you can look at all the different sums. We've come to the application portion of the class. So what you're going to do is create a 2-question survey, meaning you're just going to go around asking people 2 questions. So here's an example. You can't use this one. You have to come up with a new one on your own. But you want to say something like, do you like dogs or cats? And then another question would be, do you prefer milk or orange juice? Now, I've called dogs A, cats B, milk C, orange juice D. You're going to insert your own words there, and then you'll put those words here in the 2A table in the appropriate locations. So you're going to go around the class, and you're going to give this survey to every member of the class. You're not going to write it down, you're just going to ask them verbally. Move around the room, talk to every other person. Now, let's say, for example, someone told me, I like dogs and orange juice. Where am I going to put a tally mark? Well, okay, dogs was A. So I'm in this column, the A column. Orange juice was D. Alright, so I'm in column A, row D, right there is where I'm going to put a tally mark saying that person is a person who likes dogs and orange juice. You're going to go around, talk to every person, they're going to give you their opinion, you'll put a tally mark in the corresponding spot, tally everything up to get your totals. Once you have that information, you need to find the probability of A, whatever your A is, or D, whatever your D is. You're also going to find out if those events are mutually exclusive, and then tell me how you know that. Do the same thing for events B and C, and then tell me if those 2 events are mutually exclusive. Next, you're going to take your data from the 2A table down here, and you're going to create a Venn diagram for events A and D, and then another separate Venn diagram for events B and C. For problems 47 and 48, you need to shade the area in this Venn diagram that represents the union, and here you'll shade the area that represents the intersection. Okay, so you're going to need to add numbers in their appropriate locations, and then shade. Okay, don't shade so darkly that you cover up your numbers, just lightly. Alright, you may go ahead and pause the video, and this should take you about 10 minutes to do. 5 minutes to gather your data, and probably just about 5 minutes to fill in the Venn diagrams. If you see that it's not quite coming together, it's okay if this extends to 15, but no more than 15 minutes, please. Alright, I'm not going to do any of these practice problems with you. I'm just going to give you some hints. So, on problems 49, 50, 51, And it looks like 52. These questions here, you're going to use the addition rule, okay, the add rule. That's what we learned at the beginning of the notes. And problem 53, you're going to use what you know about unions. Problems 54 to 58, all you have to do is determine if these events are mutually exclusive. No calculations necessary. So again, remember what mutually exclusive means. Are there common outcomes? Is there a way to be both the U.S. Senator and the U.S. House of Representatives member at the same time? If that's not possible, then those events are mutually exclusive. If it is possible, then they're not mutually exclusive. So you can write ME next to each of these for mutually exclusive, or NME if you don't think they're mutually exclusive. For problems 59 and 60, I gave you two sets. You need to decide what the intersection of the sets is and what the union of the sets is. Problems 61 and 62 are complement problems. You can find, instead of finding what sum is not 8, the probability of the sum not being 8, you can say 1 minus all the different sums that do add up to 8, and there aren't very many of those, so that becomes pretty easy. 62, what's the probability of not getting royalty? Well, it's pretty easy to find the probability of royalty. So 1 minus the probability of royalty will give you the probability of not royalty. So a few hints there. Remember, this homework is due next time. We'll grade it at the beginning of class, so come prepared. After you've finished application, I'd like you to take 5 minutes to see how far you can get on these exercises, and then you will be beginning the exit quiz. One last reminder, when you take the exit quiz, you need to make sure to write the score for the former assignment in the bottom right corner of the quiz. You won't grade this quiz together as we normally do. I will grade them. So you don't have to write a score for the quiz in the upper right hand corner. However, in the lower right hand corner where it says 4.3 score, you will write the score you got from last assignment, which you graded at the beginning of the class today. All right, good luck on that exit quiz. Have a great day. We'll see you next time.